How does the media get away with lying to us so effectively? And we're not talking about opinion pieces and editorials. We're talking about actual news stories that are supposed to be reporting exactly what is happening in the world and people's reactions to it. The other day when I was talking about my way of breaking down media, news, and research, I talked about breaking down articles into facts, opinions, and declarative statements. Now, I know that there are probably quite a few grammatical stormtroopers lurking in their little Hugo Boss uniforms waiting to say,
"They're all declarative statements. Declarative statements are the standard form of sentence, yada, 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 yada."
Yes, I get it. But I view myself as more of a grammatical anarchist and seek to find interpretations of our current system that can evolve to better represent the reality that we live in. So yeah, I might use a few words in a new way or slightly different from what they're intended. Get over it. I'm trying to make fetch happen. And the reality is that writers have more recently found a very clever way of delivering opinion while only stating facts. And the way they do this is using a certain type of sentence that states objective fact through a filter of supposition and authority by mixing quotations with actual facts. And this is the thing I call the declarative statement. And you can do a deep dive into the world of journalistic writing to understand the structure of the paragraphs and the information presentation style, the inverted pyramid structure, all that other shit. But I don't think there's a word for this particular type of sentence. And I don't care to look that deeply because I'm a hack and a fraud. Now, this is not some newfangled method of communication. I was able to verify this method for back to at least the 50s using The Guardian as an example. And while the syntax has adjusted over time, the use of quotations to supplement factual statements exists in several articles compared to the present day, looking at things talking about similar subjects. An untrained or undertrained eye might have trouble recognizing when this rhetorical trick can be used to express opinion. Because I get it, reading is hard. I've been doing it since before I knew how, so I love it, but other people might not find that same enjoyment. Because even the worst written articles manage to keep their statements of opinion to a minimum using this trick. So really that third category of declarative statements ends up being a holding box for statements that kind of float in between, which most of the time ends up being the majority of the article anyways. And really when I talk about poorly written or badly written articles, what it ends up being is that these articles are written with a lot of quotations and no verification or comparison. Really good articles strike that balance. Excellent articles do the balance while also being very pleasant to read. And if you look at my other video, you can see that in the notes for the articles that I marked up. I'm not going to rehash it all for you. Go back and watch the video. But for a quick example, there was a quote from one of the articles where they had Tom Homan stating as a quotation, I think there's a lot of immigrants in this community, paraphrasing, but they didn't have any statistic to back up whether or not that was true. It's really you're just expressing his opinion, but because he's an official, we're supposed to take that as fact. In comparison, the other article that was slightly better written used a quote from a official of the city who said that there's a large population of this neighborhood that's immigrants. And then right next to it, they had a stat where they said, according to the census, this many is how many there are that are immigrants. Back to our original topic. When we talk about that third box between fact and opinion, those declarative statements, when we talk about that third box between fact and opinion, those declarative statements, or whatever you want to call them, understand that this is its own little bubble of analysis that you have to dig into if you're truly going to understand what you're reading. Because the true declarative statement is the friend you've made along